It is November 14th, 2024, and this is your DePIN market update. Starting off with Render, and this is some really big news from their CEO, Jules Urbach, and he put this in their Telegram group. Render is about to have their first official project with a major studio, Paramount. He also stated that David Ellison, who's the chairman and CEO of Paramount, is completely bought into the Render technology. All that said, I believe Render is going to be one of the best performing projects in the crypto space moving forward. The next is DIMO, and login with DIMO is now live. And I believe this is going to really push the project to the next stage, in that this is going to allow users to very easily and seamlessly log in and connect their vehicle and authorize their vehicle data to be used within different applications in the DIMO ecosystem. And really, that's what this project's all about. They also teased something on Twitter today about D2 or DIMO version 2. We'll have to wait and see what that is. I'll certainly put out a video once we have more details. And they recently announced their new hardware device, the LTE R1, which is going to replace the DIMO AutoPi, which was their prior flagship device. And it is at a lower price point of $169. I will put my discount code in the description below. That will get you 10% off on your purchase if you decide to get one of these new LTE R1s. They also have surpassed 117,000 vehicles connected to the network, so things are certainly moving in the right direction with DIMO. The next project is Hivemapper. They are starting to ship out their new hardware, the B, for testing. And they're shipping it all over the world to, obviously, the US, Europe, Australia, and Asia. Now, I know that a lot of people are really frustrated with the delays that we've seen, as originally they were supposed to start shipping these at the end of Q3. But I do have to say, the future of this project really hinges on the success of this hardware. So as painful as it is, I would rather them take a little bit of extra time and get it right. But it does appear that we are getting very close to these going into full production and to start getting shipped out. The thing I really want to focus on, though, is the usage trends that we're seeing, as DC credit usage is on a very solid trajectory. Now, I have seen some people point out the revenue chart, and it has drawn a little bit of criticism just because it is kind of up and down and sporadic. There's a reason for that, though, because a lot of the companies that are using the network are buying these data credits in bulk, and then they'll use them over time. So I really care more about the data credit usage and seeing this positive trajectory of usage on the network. And that's obviously going to drive more revenue as these companies have to re-up on their data credits over time. One other thing worth noting, and I did talk about this in a prior video recently, that there is a lot of speculation that there are going to be some big exchange listings coming up, one of them being Binance. And there's some evidence on chain to suggest that this is coming. This would obviously be massive for Hivemapper, so we'll have to wait and see what comes there. The next is Geodnet, and this project continues to amaze me. The revenue continues to come through the door, and they burn another 200,000 tokens, bringing their total token burn to 8.44 million GOD tokens. And on the supply side, they now have 10,781 miners on the network today. And in a recent interview that I did with Mike Horton, he mentioned once they get to 10,000 base stations deployed, they can address 70 to 80% of the total global addressable market. So this is a huge milestone for them to surpass, and it looks like we will continue to see really solid growth moving forward. Talking about growth on deployments, they just announced a partnership with Wingbits, and they have a new hardware option coming out that's going to allow you to dual mine both the Wingbits token and the Geodnet token. So all good things, and I still believe that Geodnet is one of the most undervalued projects in the DePIN space and really crypto as a whole. But going back to Wingbits, this is a project that I'm very bullish on. I have not put a video out yet, but I did have a call with their founder and CEO earlier this week, and I do plan to get an overview video out next week covering this project. They're essentially pulling flight data, and this is a big industry at $22 billion today, expected to see massive growth moving forward. And for reasons that I'll cover in my video, I do believe they'll be able to grab substantial market share. Now, this new hardware device that they have in partnership with Geodnet is expected to start shipping as early as January. That also happens to be when they are expecting to have their mainnet launch, as the token has not been launched yet. But I'm hoping to get that video out next week, so be on the lookout for that. The next is Helium, and talk about a comeback story. Helium was really the pioneer when it came to DePIN in the last market cycle, but it received a lot of FUD and criticism. Well, it has certainly bounced back. When you look at the data transfer metrics, well, it's pretty much hit the banana zone, and annual revenue has now hit $13 million, and we're just getting started. I am very bullish on H&T and this project as a whole. The next is Dynex, and I covered this in a recent video, but I do believe that Dynex is going to be the leader when it comes to quantum computing and DePIN. On the supply side, they have over 60,000 GPUs on the network, but what I'm really excited about is the demand side. Well, we're only halfway through November and they've already completed over 36,000 compute jobs so far this month. But when you look at the usage trend, just to put this into perspective, that's roughly 1/3 of the total projects that have been completed since this project started, all in the last 2 weeks. And that is the type of usage trend that you want to see. And lastly, I want to talk about Peaq. Now, Peaq had their token launch this week. It was one of the most highly anticipated launches of the year, and it did not disappoint. On day one, they had support from over 11 centralized exchanges, and they have over 50 DePIN projects being built in their ecosystem today. The fully diluted market cap is sitting at about $1.24 billion already. And I believe this is a project to certainly keep your eyes on. But the main takeaway for me is I think this shows just how much interest there is in DePIN right now. And I would not at all be surprised if in 6 months we all look like geniuses, because I think the upside is tremendous in this sector. And that is your DePIN market update. I'm also going to do a broader market update as there's a lot going on right now, but I do plan to put these update videos out more frequently based on feedback that I'm getting from the community. And with that said, as always, I appreciate your viewership. Signing off, this is Bradley Meyer with the DePIN Connection.